Hi friends, this is chapter 32 of Right to Recall Party Manifesto. Chapter 32 is on saving Hindus in Bangladesh, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. Saving Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains and also Christians. And Christians in Sri Lanka, not and Bangladesh, Pakistan. So Right to Recall Party Manifesto is available at rahulmehta.com/301.htm. Now the proposal, first I'll give the proposal, then I'll show that the proposal does not violate the tenet of secularism and why we should have, ethically speaking, why these proposals must be printed in the Gazette. The proposal is that any person, any Hindu or Christian or Buddhist, Sikh, etc. in Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka can apply for refugee status in India, and after verification by jury, and if the jury suspects, then narco test. There will be several ways to verify. One can be verification through blood relatives. A Hindu in Pakistan will have blood relatives in India, so that can become verification. Then interview, lie detection test, brain mapping, and if the jury is still suspicious that this person is not a refugee but an economic infiltrator trying to pose himself as a refugee, then the jury can take a narco test, and if the jury says that the person is a liar, then he will be executed, so or thrown into prison for 5 years. So what does the law say is that the Prime Minister will ask the embassies to start taking applications of refugee status, and then embassy will do preliminary verification, and if the verification is there, if the verification fails, then the person can apply for verification at a border checkpost. So at that checkpost he will be allowed to enter into India. The jury will verify, and if the jury feels that yes, there is reasonable possibility that the person is actually a refugee, then he will be given refugee status, that is work permit, and later on he will be given citizenship after full verification. And if he gets work permit, that he can work in any district of India except Northeast, because Northeast is overflooded with refugee as well as infiltrator. So, and he cannot work in any border district and any coastal district, because the border districts are also overflooded with refugee infiltrator both, and coastal districts. If the person is not a refugee but an infiltrator, then his presence in coastal district is a security risk. So he can work in any of the district except Northeast, border district, except border district and except coastal districts. So the procedure is the procedure is given in section 32.2, 32.3, that a jury will be chosen, a district level jury and a state level jury and a national jury, and the jury will take video conference interview if needed, and if the jury recommends a narco test, then narco test will be taken. Now, does it violate secularism? It does not. Why? Because if Government of India puts the board that in Pakistan or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, that to all Hindus or Buddhists, Sikhs, Jains and Christians we will give refugee status, then it is an action taken by Government of India outside land of India. So Constitution applies only inside land of India. Outside land of India, government can take any action that is legal by international law, and secularism is not part of international law. For example, Saudi Arabia is secular but still it is member of UN, Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, Pakistan is Muslim state, Bangladesh, and they are all members of UN. Why? Because UN has not made secularism a binding condition. Of course, one of my proposal is to make secularism a binding condition is UN, but that is a that is much later proposal. Today, secularism is not a binding proposal in international law, so Government of India can very much put such a notice in Bangladesh and Pakistan and Sri Lanka that we will take Hindus and Buddhist, Sikhs, etc. and give them refugee status in India. Second thing, it is also guided by international human laws, human right principles, that inside Pakistan, the Hindus and Sikhs, etc., are refugees. Inside Bangladesh, Hindus are refugees because the constitution of Bangladesh and Pakistan openly says that Bangladesh is an Islamic state, Pakistan is an Islamic state. Openly, it is written in black and white. I request you to Google and you will find that the constitution uses the word Islamic state. And it is also well published facts that the Hindus in Bangladesh and Pakistan are actually treated like refugees. It is not just a statement of constitution I am going for. That matter, Israel is a Jewish state, but Hindus in Israel are not tormented or tortured or affected. Of course, there are not very many Hindu citizens in Israel, but I am just putting it in an example that Israel is a Jewish state, but Israel does not have policy to torture or inflict atrocity on non-Jews or Hindus. But Pakistan Supreme Court Judge Chaudhary institutionalized what Chaudhary, Supreme Court Chief Judge of Pakistan, said is that it is legal to kidnap a non-Muslim girl and forcefully marry her, etc. So it is open and official in Pakistan that these communities are tormented. Now, third question comes. So first, it is very much, it does not violate secularism of India because this action is done outside India. Second, international human rights guidelines. There is no law. Guidelines say that a country can differentiate between economic infiltrator and a social political refugee. And this has been there for past 200 years. I am not inventing it today. For example, in UK, a Sri Lankan Tamil will get work permit very easily by claiming refugee status. But a person from India, any religion, Hindu or Sikh or Muslim, he cannot claim refugee status. Because Britain accepts that Sri Lankans in Tamils in Sri Lanka are tormented, whereas in India no specific community is tormented. So refugee status is discretion of the state, it is not right of the refugee, and the state can put standards which makes that are you tormented because of your ethnic origin. So that will make that will enable Hindu, Sikh, Jain, Buddhist, etc. in Pakistan, Bangladesh to enter into India. Now, why morality requires us to do this is that whether we like it or not, of course we did not like it, but whether we liked it or not, in 1947, we means the political leaders who represented us in 1947. They accepted division on the basis of religion, and they accepted that Pakistan will be a Muslim state. They did not do it willingly and wishfully, but they accepted it. Now say I am an Indian political leader in 1947 and I accept that okay, Pakistan from tomorrow onwards will be Muslim state. Then, and we as an Indian accepted that Pakistan will be a Muslim state. So it automatically gives right to Hindus over land of India. Because we accepted that only Muslims will have right in Pakistan. We did not accept it wishfully and willfully and we accepted it out of our limitations. But irrespective of the reasons we accepted, the fact is that in 1947, we means people in India, people residing in India, we accepted that only Muslims will have right over Pakistan, and therefore we automatically gave right to Hindus and Sikhs over land in India. Which is why we accepted refugees without any questions till year 1954. And then what happened in 1954, that without giving any warning, any notices, all of a sudden that window was closed, which was unfair. And therefore, we should open that window for a period of 5 years. That for 5 years starting whenever the law is passed, that for next 5 years, we are reopening the window which was closed in 1954 without any notice, that any tormented person in Pakistan, Hindu, Sikh, etc., can apply for a refugee status. Now in Sri Lanka, it will apply only for Tamils. It will apply for Tamils who are Christian or Buddhist or Hindu. The Muslims Tamil, we will provide them arrangement to go to Bangladesh or Pakistan, whichever they prefer. But all the Hindu, Christian and Sikh Tamil, there aren't many Sikh Tamil, but Buddhist Tamil, they will be allowed to enter India and be given refugee status in non-coastal area of Tamil Nadu or whichever district they prefer. Most of them will prefer Tamil Nadu, but so that will be given to them. Now comes the question of accommodating them. So a small amount like 200 per person per month will be sufficient to ensure that they at least get basic food and they don't have to beg for food, etc. And then later they are all skilled people, they are hardworking people. Of course 2-3% could be lazy, but most of them are hardworking people, and they will eventually find job and they will get absorbed, and after full verification they can be given citizenship. So now what can you do to reduce the tortures that are Hindus and Sikhs, etc. are facing in Pakistan and Bangladesh, and torture that Tamils are facing in Sri Lanka? You can ask Prime Minister and Chief Minister to print this TCP in the Gazette. Asking is the first step to raise Udham Singh centric mass movement. I have described in this manifesto what is Udham Singh, how does it differ from Ahimsa Murti Mahatma Udham Singh, what is Ahimsa Murti Mahatma Udham Singh, how it differs from Duratma Gandhi. Once this 3-line law is printed in Gazette, within 2-3 months we can print this drafts in Gazette, and once these drafts are printed in Gazette, the refugees, the battered communities in Pakistan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka will be able to get refugee status. What are other parties doing about it? Congress, as we all know, supports entry of Bangladeshi Muslims, but it opposes the entry of Bangladeshi Hindus, and it opposes the entry of Pakistani Hindus into Pakistan, India. BJP talks about it, but in the 6-year period of BJP or 13-day government, they did not make any law. See, in 13-day government, they could have made an ordinance. Ordinance does not require permission of Parliament. Ordinance only requires signature of the Prime Minister. So, in 13-day government, it was BJP government, it was not NDA government. Every time you talk about BJP, some Andh Bhagat of BJP will come and say it was not BJP government, it was NDA government, our allies did not allow you to do that. Well, Vajpayee in 1942 became witness of British police, and because of his testimony, 6 Satyagrahi faced prison. Now, one of the reasons, it was not the only reason. So who forced Vajpayee to become witness? The guy got scared. I'm not saying he was a traitor, he was not. But the guy was not made up of, he was made up of aluminium. When the policeman slapped him 5-10 times and threatened him a prison statement, the guy immediately surrendered. So, similarly in 13-day government, they did not make any law to accommodate Pakistani Hindus or Pakistani Sikh or Bangladeshi Hindus into India. See, they could have made an ordinance. If the ordinance had failed by next Congress government, I would not have blamed BJP for that. But how do you explain the fact that in those 13 days, they did not print any ordinance in the Gazette? It was purely 100% pure BJP government, and later in 1998 to 2004, they ruled for about 6 years. In those 6 years, they made no attempt of presenting any legislation in the parliament. If they had presented a legislation, and if the legislation has failed because allies did not vote, NDA allies, I would not have blamed BJP. But the blatant inaction shows that the BJP leaders are only interested in money and getting votes. They want to get votes on the basis of this issue, and then after getting vote they will collect bribe and all that, but they are not interested in reducing the problem. CPM also supports infiltration of Bangladeshi Muslims, but it opposes accommodating Bangladeshi Hindus and Pakistani Hindus into India. Of course, local leader of CPM do allow Hindu Bangladeshis to come because of local pressure. But as a whole, the policy of CPM is against accommodating battered Hindus and Sikhs of Pakistan and Bangladeshi into India. Anna and Arvind Gandhi have also opposed accommodating battered Hindus and Sikhs of Pakistan into India. You can ask them, you can call them. And at the same time, the one has to have two clear proposals, that I will allow Bangladeshi refugee and I will expel Bangladeshi infiltrator. Who is refugee? The person who is battered in Bangladesh is a refugee, and a person who is coming just to make more money is infiltrator. Whether he is starving, none of our problem. If he is starving, ask him to reduce population growth rate of Bangladeshi. If a person is beaten or tortured or tormented because of his birth or ethnic origin, only that person is a refugee, only that person should be given residency. And who is that person? Well, Bangladeshis are tormenting Hindus and Sikhs, etc. etc. So it is not I am the one who is taking an unsecular stand or anti-secular stand or whatever. As far as I think, my stand is 100% secular. But if somebody wants to put a label of unsecular, I would say I am not the one who took the decision. It is people of Bangladesh or government of Bangladesh or whatever, they took the decision that they will torment only the Hindus and not the Muslims. And therefore I am giving label of refugee only to Bangladeshi Hindus. It is they who gave the label. I am only recognizing that label. So one should have both statements in one line, that I will allow Bangladeshi refugee and I will expel Bangladeshi infiltrator. What Anna and Arvind Gandhi are doing is that एक स्टेटमेंट जो दिया अरविंद गांधी ने, बेचारे बांग्लादेशी, ये कब की बात है? When in August there was this Bodo and riots between Bodo and Bangladeshi Muslims. At that time, Arvind Gandhi refused to use the word Bangladeshi Muslim. He said Bangla Bhashi Muslims. Now what does Bangla Bhashi mean? So somebody, it will mean that they are from West Bengal. If they are from West Bengal, they are genuine Indian citizen. So that will pass out as some sectarian problem. But the fact that it was an encroachment problem of international and national proportion, the word we have to use is Bangladeshi infiltrator. I don't want to use the word Muslim. Infiltrator, person who has come, although is for making more money or to encroach the land. Both. So what Arvind Gandhi said is ki bechare Bangladeshi. Now what does this word mean? What does this phrase bechare Bangladeshi mean? He is talking about accommodating, and that's why in vision document that he published on 2nd October, Duratma Gandhi's birthday, he refused to put a point that his party will be committed to expel Bangladeshi. Anyway, this video was about accommodating Hindus. My next video is about expelling Bangladeshis. In this I say that we should get this particular law draft printed in Gazette. Once this law draft is printed in Gazette, it will become possible for us to accommodate, to allow Hindus and Hindus and Sikhs of Pakistan and Hindus of Bangladeshi and Tamils of Sri Lanka into India and get them residency status. Thank you.